So we're here today with Lucas Valle out of Valle Jiu-Jitsu out of New Hampshire. You know, I had the privilege of listening to a podcast that you sat on with one of your former students, I believe, and it was really interesting. You had a really crazy story of how you even got to the United States, So, but before we jump into any of that, I kind of want to give you the reins and allow you to speak for yourself, like who you are, what you do, and all that stuff in terms of jiu-jitsu.
Yes. So my name is Lucas Valle. I am 31 years old, third degree black belt. I've been training Jiu-Jitsu since I am 14 years old. I did a little bit younger when with my dad playing, but deep really into when I was 14 in an academy called Infight Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. And now I live in New Hampshire. And I have my school here, I have my students, I already have a couple black belts. I've been here for around 8 years.
You've been in New Hampshire for 8 years?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I thought you were in Miami. Like were you in Miami for a little bit?
I was there for a little bit. Yes, you're from Miami, right?
Yeah. So I'm out of
Yeah,
Miami, but I could have sworn that you were here for a while.
I was in Miami for, I believe, 2 months, maybe a little more.
Oh,
So
so it wasn't that long.
yeah, 2016 when I came up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was Florida for Lauderdale first. But that's pretty much. This is who I am, and let's go.
that's great, man. Like I have a lot of questions stemming from, I heard the other podcast that you were talking about that the way that you were going to go to Abu Dhabi, you had a bunch of stuff planned, and man, you've been able to build a really nice academy. I haven't seen it in person, but from what I see, from what you promote online, it's a beautiful academy. You have a great instructor, Andres, there, and I'm sure that you have, a great program running out there. And you've competed against some of the highest level people. So I have a lot of questions, and I really don't know where to start, but I guess I want to start with when you got into training, jiu-jitsu, right? What was the moment that you were like, this is something that I really want to pursue professionally and do? Was it instantly? Was it?
Yes, that's a good question. I gotta start how I got into Jiu.
Sure.
So I got into because my family was always talking about fighting and jiu-jitsu back in Brazil back on that time
Yeah.
was something big, when you see the MMA fights, like the Brazilians were dominating back on that time.
Yeah.
And my dad used always to talk about jiu-jitsu, and talk about the Gracie family. So
That's
I grew
crazy
up.
because my story is similar to yours. My dad was like, the reason I got into jiu-jitsu was because my dad was like watching UFC, the first one.
Yes. So pretty much. So I watched all the Pride fights. The Pride was amazing show. And by the way, Sakuraba was my favorite fighter. It was not a Brazilian. And so I grew up with that idea, right?
Yeah.
And I used to play with my dad on the carpet. We watching movies, and then movie
Yeah.
stops, we start fighting. And that's what happened. And then when I was 14, I went by myself in a school calling Fight Jiu-Jitsu. I have friends that live over there.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny fact, my dad used to train with my professor too back on the day.
Oh, that's nice.
Crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. So my professor was my dad's professor too. So it was
That's
kind of
pretty cool.
funny. Yeah, and then I went there, developed a strong connection with the academy. And to be honest, I start training, I'm like, oh my God, this is for me, because I feel this happen with a lot of people. Like
Mm,
you do a bunch of sports, do other things, and you're like, I don't know, I'm
100.
not good at this, or I don't know, it doesn't click with me. With jiu-jitsu was like instantly, like I start training, like, oh my God, this is good, and
Yeah.
I'm doing well. So why am I do good at this? I want to compete. I want to go for. I mean, actually, I never had desire to compete, but I had
Really?
friends. I had friends that was into the competitions. And they're like, Lucas, you should compete. You train very well. You should go. And that's how I got into, because my friends were like pushing. And that's
Yeah.
how and then I started like enjoying, oh, this is pretty cool. So let's keep going. And then that was how everything
How
started.
was that first competition for you? Like when you decided to, like, I can imagine that it's like it's a pretty big leap to decide just to start competing. You were 14 when you started?
I was 14, yeah.
So you started competing, like how long after you started training?
2 months later.
Oh, okay, so you just jumped right into that.
They're crazy.
So how was that
Back.
like experience for you?
So You don't know much what you're doing. I
Mm.
guess you just have like the energy, the heart. Was a state championship in Brazil, Rio
Wait,
state
wait, wait,
championship.
wait. So your first competition was a state championship.
Yes,
So that's like all Brazil?
Rio de Janeiro, not national. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, but still, it was big there. It was
Yeah, of
like at
course.
the federation was the JJ Rio is that's the oldest federation that we have before even IBJJF. Yeah, it is a big one. Yeah. Yes, yes. It's from the Grace family too, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, from the Grace family. But
Sure.
yes, in Brazil everybody goes for everybody fights that tournament too. So the tournament first fight is like it was a crazy fight. You know, I was going for. I remember one of the coaches in the back, Lucas, because the guy got on my side, and if I
Yeah,
stop, he would get the points.
right.
And like, Lucas, turn belly down, turtle, turtle, and I went turtle to defend myself, and then the guy didn't get the points, and then I won the fight because of that. But if I didn't know, I would lose. Right? It's fun. Tournaments are fun. You don't know much, like sometimes how to play the rules, you get kind of screwed, right?
100%.
But I made to the finals. On the final, yeah, I won 3 fights to make the finals, or four, I don't remember. And then I went to the finals. I lost by armbar. The kid got the blue belt around that time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, but that was how it was. Yeah.
Dude, that's pretty big. Like, I don't know. It also depends on your weight class, right? But I'm assuming that's pretty big tournament to jump into, right? As a white belt, there's got to be
Yes,
a lot of
yes,
competitors.
yes. There's a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of yeah kids. I mean, yeah. It
So
was a lot of competitors.
how's that culture in Brazil when it comes to jiu-jitsu? Like I've never been to Brazil, but back in when the Gracies were growing up, like when the Gracies were making their name for themselves in Brazil, is very oriented in fighting and MMA, like that kind of stylistically. Is that culture still around? Like the importance of knowing how to defend yourself when it comes to using jiu-jitsu to defend yourself. Is that still like a staple over there?
In my neighborhood, the state that I came from, yes,
Yeah.
for sure. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
like that's where the Grace Baja was located. That's where like we have a bunch of Graces there, like Hanzo, Ryan, and all of those guys. Carlinhos Gracie was there, so everybody around knows jiu-jitsu and they have that mentality. I'm not sure about the other states how it
Okay.
goes.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. I can't say like everywhere else, but
Right.
definitely. I mean, soccer is still bigger than jiu-jitsu over
Of
there.
course.
I guess judo is bigger too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Brazil's a crazy good judo team.
Yes, yes. So, but yes, I think I would say for sure my neighborhood in my town for sure.
So like when you started jiu-jitsu, did they I'm just curious, did they like implement that self-defense component to it?
I had self-defense classes.
Yeah.
Every Friday, my professor used to teach some self-defense for us.
Yeah.
But that was not the focus on my school. My school was more focused on
And competing.
before tournaments and competing, and then when I started enjoying, they were like getting a little bit out of the tournaments.
Yeah.
But it was always push. We're more like sport related.
Yeah, yeah, which makes sense because that's kind of Rio's kind of the hub, right, of jiu-jitsu in Brazil. It's kind of like the
Yes,
epicenter of where to get jiu-jitsu. So it makes sense that they kind of had that transformation that it's sport focused and you know it's interesting to me. Like I kind of I'm very curious like how it was for you coming up in Brazil training. Like were you able to go to like other gyms and train at other gyms and kind of like do those open
yes,
mats? Like how was that
yeah,
environment?
yeah. I'll give my perspective of that.
Sure.
Yeah, it always have that in my vision, you know, my
Mm,
feeling inside. I'm not sure if it's like there or not. So when I started, I was a kid, right? You know how to
hmm.
speak for yourself, you know how to express, but like he
Right.
always like it has always the energy, like oh, you're going to that place, and have kind of like a weird feeling. Was the feeling
Right.
that I had before,
Yeah.
but then I started creating like you know, become older, becoming a man, and learn how to speak for yourself, and having a good relationship with my professor. My professor was great for me. He helped me so many things. And you know, I start talking to him. Hey, I want to go this place. Like, yeah, because go ahead, go back. Oh, this and that. And so I used to go to some places, but not much really. I went to Gordo School a couple times. I went to Gracie Bar a couple times to train. I went to many different schools around the area over there, but not much.
Okay.
I should go more actually. I should go more train other places. Yeah.
So you think that's important, like the cross training? You think that's a good thing, or what's your opinion on people going to other gyms to train? Because there's this, I'm sure you're aware of it, but there's some schools that are like kind of they frown upon going to other academies to go to an open mat. And I'm not saying like, you know what I mean, just to go train in an open mat, and they don't like that type of approach. But that you're an owner of a school, I'm kind of interested in what your perspective is on that aspect.
Yeah. I tell the students like, you know where your home is,
Right.
fine, and that's it. That's all we need to know. And you gotta go other places because you always gonna pick something from the other places that I
100%.
don't teach for you. Like I teach what I have inside me, what I think is good, but doesn't mean what I think is good is the only way. I have a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
So I recommend to the students go visit other places. I don't have many students that do that. I have one or two. I have a student that go like in a gym like they're like I don't know 10 minutes away from me. That's
Right.
like no gi based. He goes there, he gets his rounds. He likes no gi more,
Okay.
and it's fine. It's fine because that's part of his development. So I think it's great. Everybody should go cross train to see also where you at to learn new tricks and
Yeah, man.
understand jiu-jitsu is not only what you learn in your school. Like I visited many schools before,
Hmm.
and everybody plays different. It's so fun. Everybody plays different.
That's what
You
makes it
go,
fun.
you know what I mean? It's pretty cool. So sometimes you get a kind of thrown off, like, oh, this is very different than I'm used to do. Or you go another school, like, oh, I'm doing good here. I know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to be like, you need to know how to play in every scenario, and to know how to play in every scenario, you need to get different types of energy on the training.
That's great, man. I agree with you 100% when it comes to having that mentality and cross training, especially if you're an athlete. You
Yeah,
have to be 100% active. You have to be training if you're really trying to pursue it professionally, right? I think it's important that you need to train
100%,
at your
100%,
school, but you need to get different looks. You need to get people
100%.
that are not training with you every day to kind of understand stylistically where you stand and where your strength and weaknesses are. Because if you're seeing the same bodies every day, you're still
It
gonna
can get
grow, man.
boring too. It can get boring too. You need to, yes, 100%, 100%.
So sorry, I kind of like derailed you. So we started jujitsu. You went to that competition at your second month, which was a huge competition. And I imagine, how did you feel after that competition? Like, how did that affect you in training?
Like that definitely made me get much better. It was funny. I used to feel I was a white belt. So to compete, you get back to school, everything was low because I don't know why I
Let
didn't
me
use
ask.
too much.
That's a good point that you bring up. Everybody that competes says that it's like 10 classes when you compete. Like,
Yeah,
why do you
yeah.
think that
Only
is?
I think the adrenaline. I don't know, like the nerves. I'm not sure, but I used to feel like that in the beginning. Now I don't feel like that anymore, but I feel my jiu to get much better at the tournament.
Mm. Oh wait, so you're
But
saying that after tournaments now, you don't feel like you made the progress that you used to?
yes, I feel I made a progress, but I
Right.
don't feel like before. Before, like when I was white blue, I was should complain like, oh my god, I go back to school, everything was low, it was so funny. But now it's not like that anymore. Now that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because you've been doing it for so long, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You've been doing it for so long. It's kind of like an open map for you at this point.
I get nervous too. I get nervous.
Well, you facing huge names, man. Like you've gone against the cream of the crop in jiu-jitsu. So I can imagine that's a nervous feeling, having to face
Yeah,
those big names. You're not just doing like small competition, which I imagine you do, but that's not your fault. You're
yeah,
you're really going out there and trying to get
hundred
the
percent.
big names, man. And how does that work with you in terms of your life right now?
So right now, I'm gonna transition. Like I finally got a big part that I always dreamed for,
Mm,
which was getting the school set up. The
yeah.
school basically can work without me now. That's how it goes. I want to be involved. I want to be part of my team, and like be on it. But now we have a manager that takes care of like the business side. That I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like to sit in front of the computer. Like I'm terrible. I start getting headache. Like
Well,
oh
hope you don't get a headache now, bro.
no, I'm fine. I'm fine. This is easy. Like you don't have to look to numbers or like little letters, anything like that.
That's great, dude.
Yeah, yeah. So I have Professor Ian, which is my first black belt. By the way, so much to talk about. Hopefully, we have enough time. So,
As much as you want, bro.
Ian, yeah, Ian, he's like engineer. He's an engineer.
Ooh,
He had a great job here in America, and he just gave up on his job to work with jiu-jitsu, make less than he used to make, but he feels fulfilled inside. He likes to
100%,
be
that makes
there.
sense.
So how lucky I was with that. You know what I mean? Somebody that I trust, basically my right arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Have
yeah.
somebody like that is a big thing. You know.
A lot of schools
So
don't get that, dude. Like you
you
may
know
have
what
a
I mean?
professor.
And
That's real.
I
That's
know, and I know it's a big thing. Somebody that you can trust. So I
yeah.
got Ian there as a manager. He's working hard. He's smart, and we're making plans together to keep the school growing. We got Andres. That another thing that's super hard to find coaches that want to work with kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the hardest thing to find in jiu-jitsu because I always tell that to Andres. Andres, teaching kids is the hardest thing ever. No one wants to do that
Yeah,
because no one wants to do. It's a headache, right?
it is. It is.
But it's also the most gratifying one when things go right.
That's so true that you put it that way, man. It's like it is the hardest. I used to teach like a kids class, and teaching honestly is not for me.
Uh-huh.
I think that I have a lot of respect after teaching that limited time that I taught. I have a lot of respect for professors that go full into teaching because it's not just teaching the technique; it's creating a
It's so
program.
much.
It's evaluating your students, knowing where they need to work on. It's more than what it is on the mats. Just teaching a technique. It's completely it's a full time job, bro. Even more than 8 hours. And then you
Understand.
add the kid
Totally.
aspect to it that they lose attention and you're not able to.
Exactly.
So that's such an important point that you made.
Exactly. 100%. It's a thing. So we have Katie over there too that works with kids.
Mm,
She teaches the kids too. So we have Andres and Katie. We have a whole system there on how to teach the kids. I can talk about that later.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I also have a couple black belts that can jump when I'm not there. I got Ryan Clay, which was like a champion too in the collar belts. Won a couple Pan American tournaments. He's a
Oh,
second
great.
degree black belt. I got Oleg. He's my he's a Russian black belt. He's a master strength. He helps a
That's a
lot.
different type of black belt right there.
It's different type of black belt. I got Jonathan Sola, great jiu-jitsu in my opinion, and great heart. Anything you ask him to help, he helps. He jumps in. He don't even care. So I got a great team behind now.
That's
Now
important.
that now that I got that set up, I'm trying to figure out my training.
Okay.
You know, so I'm still like apart from how I'm gonna do for my train, I'm
Yeah,
looking to
yeah,
get my physical train, my performance, strength and conditional train on point. I'm kind of like here and there.
yeah,
So I'm pushing the jiu-jitsu now. I drive to New York to train with Professor Jonathan Torres every Tuesday and Thursday. But that takes me like 4 hours to go, another 4 hours to come back, plus 2 hours and a half of training. So it takes me the whole day.
yeah, man.
And
So
I'm
how
not
does
sure.
that work? How does that work? Those 4 hours? Like you drive early 6 in the morning or something like that?
Exactly. Wake up at 6. I gotta be leaving at 7 to get there at 11, train at 11:15. And then I train there for 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, take a shower over there,
Yeah.
drive back this way, and teach class at night.
So you're getting home like
It's
what, like at
tough.
11, bro?
No, no, the school doesn't finish too late, our classes there, but I get
Okay.
at home like around 9:30, 9, I would
Okay,
say.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
you'll still be able to get your like recovery and rest in too.
Yeah, I can get some. I can get some stuff. Yes, so I'm kind of like trying to figure out my training now. I'm getting like a coach to help me with that.
Yeah.
So
Cause you
that's
took a time off from competing, right?
I took because I had a couple injuries, like
Right.
big injuries.
What were the injuries again?
I had like a lung
That's the one I read about.
surgery, and I had both knees in the last 2 years. Like I had my ACL, like just a partial tear, but that took me some time, and my ACL last year. Now I'm fine. I'm looking to get back at it, pushing, and
Yeah.
moving forward. But answering your question from before, how my
Yeah, yeah.
to
Let's get back to
compete
that.
going. I'm still figuring out how I'm gonna do because competing the highest level, you gotta dedicate like 100% of your time. You gotta move forward, and I'm looking to balance that and see how it goes.
Yeah, but that's such a good thing that you said that I think that one of the cornerstones of you being able to accomplish what you want to accomplish in competition is having that team that you have. Like I don't know
Yeah.
all the coaches, but just knowing that you have that peace of mind, knowing that you have one that you can focus on the big picture of the academy, kind of like allow the day to day to go to your team. Having that peace of mind allows you to kind of structure your day the way that you need to in order to accomplish having a very successful academy and having a very successful career in competition. So that's a blessing, man. A lot of people don't
Yes,
have that.
yes. I was thinking about the other day, like, oh my God, this is pretty good. I was happy. I was very happy with that. And it's time to go. It's time to move forward. I wanna push the train and compete. So this is what's going on right now. I'm trying to figure out my training schedule
Yeah.
and go for it.
And so what about the days that you don't drive up? Like I'm assuming you train Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I train um, 2 times a day. One time hard, one time more like easy or like drills, repetition, repetition.
Mm,
And I look to do some lifting. I'm not, how can I say, right now I'm not super disciplined with my lifting
mm,
because I'm kind of out of playing right now. And I always had coaches like
yeah.
strength and conditionals coaches to follow up. So I'm trying to see what's gonna happen from there.
Oh, you got Andres there too, man. Andres is
Yeah,
definitely certified.
yes, yes, yes. Andres and I we worked before too. Andres like he's busy too. He's busy now working too, but
Yeah.
we're gonna find something. Yeah.
That's great, man, that you're able to have that kind of be able to structure your day the way that you want to structure it. Do you have kind of like plans, like a goal that you're kind of like a competition in specific that you want to compete in, or are you kind of just waiting until you can structure your training?
Yes, yes. So I'm structuring my training to get better, but I'm looking now to compete the
Okay.
Boston Open, first New York Open,
Ooh, that's a good one.
April 6th and 5th. Gi, then Boston Open on the 20th of April, and then Brazil Nationals on the 4th, 3 and 4th. That's what I'm looking for. And I
That's the
want to
big
see
one,
how,
right?
yes, big one. That's a big one.
That's the one that you are kind of like the other ones are big, but the big one is that Brazil Nationals.
Exactly. I won both a couple times, New York and
Yeah.
Boston, but I want to go again. I want to win and get into the groove, make the
Right.
points for the big scenario. I'm still going as adult, and I'm 31 now, but I'm still going as adult, and
Yeah.
that's what I got in mind right now. I want to go for both, and already cutting weight. I was 83 kilos this morning, so it's dropping down. I have a nutritionist, Bruno, from Brazil, a friend of mine from Kid. He takes care of that, so I already dropped a couple pounds,
That's good, man.
and
You
and
don't
yeah.
do that crazy weight cut, do you? You do it like right.
No, no, no. I'm terrible cutting weight, man. I'm terrible. Actually, now it's getting better. I started doing meal prep.
Oh yeah?
Big difference, big change in my life. Because like, let's say Friday night, you go home, you're tired from training, you want to enjoy a little bit. You're like, I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna buy food. And you think about, I'm gonna buy food.
100%.
But right now, like, oh no, my food's already ready there, waiting for me. I just have to warm it up. Good, boom, go home, eat my food. Fine, don't feel like that, that necessity there, like, oh, I need to get something else. I don't
Yeah.
get that anymore because what I get is right there and doesn't have anymore. I eat everything that is in my meal prep and done, over.
Dude, those little habits that
Makes a difference.
it's such a huge difference. Like the consistency of those small habits of building the meal prep, for example, that
Yeah.
small habit is such a game changer. Like a lot of people don't put weight on developing those small habits in order to be successful in whatever it is that you're doing.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
having that meal prep and not having to decide what I'm gonna eat or what it takes like mental fatigue. Like when you have to make a lot of decisions, in my opinion, you get this mental fatigue and you start making
Exactly,
bad
exactly.
choices.
You gotta make it simple. Gotta make it simple. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man. The meal prep is 100%, and that's probably why it's easier to be honest. Like if you have those habits in place, it's gonna make your first of all, I'm assuming that you perform better with a good meal plan, right? Like it's just you feel better.
I feel really good dropping a couple weights. I get heavy fast. I'm dropping. Yeah, I feel really good dropping weight. Move fast. You can.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel it's fine. I feel stronger too. For some reason I feel way stronger.
yeah. It's great, man. That's like essential. Like I want to get back to one of your the process of recovery for one of your injuries because it's kind of an anomaly in terms of the injury that you had because knees is something that's I don't want it's common in jiu-jitsu, right? Knee injuries,
Yes, yes.
but the lung one, man, I'm kind of interested in how you were
I
able to
know.
recover.
I know. So the lung, it was very tough. To be honest, it was like a life lesson because
It's a lifelong one?
no, life lesson.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because think like you're Superman, and one day to another, then like you see like, oh my God, I'm very weak. Like it was fun, you know.
Was it that quick that you realized you had the lung issue? Was it
No. So to 20, what was the? I think the World Championship of 2021. Yeah, 2021. So I was working, I was training super hard for that term. I never trained like so hard. Like some days I was getting home like, oh my God, I thought I loved training, but I guess I don't like training. Seriously, I'm a guy that loves to train.
Yeah,
And like I had like friends like coming up, competitors coming up here and like, Lucas, you like to train a lot, man. Like and like good competitors, like talking about world championship level. And they didn't like to train like the way I liked it. But after this camp, I was like, I think I don't like training. So that was how much I was training. And on the week of the tournament, actually 2 days before the tournament, I got sick.
okay.
I got sick, and I was in a situation where I was with, the people that were around me, like, Lucas, you gotta go, you gotta compete, and that was to me like a code of honor, I was like sick bad. I was like bad sick. And, that mass inside of me, people saying that I had to go and I was like in a bad situation and I went anyways, I
Yeah.
competed like sick and I was winning the fight and in the middle of the fight, like I was like feeling really, really bad.
Dizzy.
And then like I couldn't breathe. It was like terrible.
Like it wasn't
Like
something that
around
you felt before. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just tired. It was a different feeling.
I was sick bad. It was around the COVID time. I'm not sure if I had COVID or not, but like it
Okay.
was around the time,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think I don't think I had COVID, but it was around the time.
Yeah.
The guy got my foot. I tapped right away, and I couldn't breathe. Like, the referee even
Oof.
came up to me like, "Hey, you okay, buddy?" Like, I'm like, "Hey, I'm okay." And he picked me up, and I laughed. Fine. 1 week later, I got the pleurisy.
Can you
Pleurisy is
explain that a
like,
little bit?
it's like a liquid that is not inside the lungs, but it's a line that goes and can get liquid inside that
Oh,
on top
jeez.
of the lung. And then mine was like there for a long time. I could not walk and like fall down. Like some looks like somebody like stab you in the lung, and then you gotta
Oh
fall.
man.
Yeah, it was bad. And then I was dealing with that for a long time. And I went to the hospital couple times.
Wait, so you were dealing it with it like you just know you just noticed it when you're in that competition, but you've had it for a while, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
And
So
you
the
didn't know
plur
about it.
on the beginning, I didn't know about it because the doctors didn't know much what to say. And then I had to go to the hospital 4 times saying what was happening.
Right.
And they finally saw, no, you got pleurisy. And they told me just to take ibuprofen, this and that, should be fine. Okay, that helps with the pain, but what happened? Um, the liquid didn't went out. It became a rock that was pushing my lung inside. And then I was dealing for that thing for a year, or maybe even more, year and a half. And then I had to be the whole time without competing. Then I finally got the surgery here in America,
So you
and
had to get lung surgery.
I have a scar here on the side.
Oof.
But yeah, he breaks the part that it's the thing is, it's not inside the lung, it's on top of the lung. So it's not, it
Oh,
is
so it's not
bad,
like
but
invasive.
yes,
It's not like
it's
they go
bad, but
inside the lung.
it's not that bad.
Okay.
And then once you get better, I got better. Start pushing. It was crazy, and I had a couple of friends helping me too, like with how I should do to recover with that, and then strength and conditioning, strengthening those muscles again around the area,
Yeah.
and then got better, competed. I won New York right after that. I won Miami after that. Gi. I won that division, and yeah, man, I was hungry. I was hungry
So what was the
to
life
go.
lesson that you said? You said it was a life lesson. What was that life lesson that you won?
The life lesson was like that showed me that we're not strong the way we think. Tomorrow can happen something and we become like this. Like
Yeah,
this.
man.
I thought I was like a Superman. Training, this and that, but like one little thing can happen and you can get
How long was the recovery period? So it was in 2021. When did you compete in Miami? or in your?
No, 2023. So I had the 2021.
Okay.
I got to know about that December, and then 2022, the whole year dealing with that, and I think I got the surgery December of 2023, 1 year later of the tournament.
Okay. So you were there for like you weren't training when you were feeling that way, I imagine, right? Once you found out
I
you were.
was trained. I was training a little bit. I was training after, like, in the beginning I was not training. I could not even move, but
Yeah.
after I think 6 months I start training, but I could not go too far, because
How do you deal
I
with that
had
mentally?
competitors are crazy, they feel pain, they go through, that's what you taught, you learn how to deal
100%.
with pain, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that
So
can
you
be
just pushed through it.
yes. I heard, actually, it was funny. I heard some good black belt. They're talking about them, man. Athletes, they're all beat up, they're all hurt. You guys learn how to go through stuff and deal with the pain, but sometimes there is a problem there that you don't see it, and then and then it
Yeah.
becomes a big problem.
Right. Yeah, it could work
So
in your detriment too. Like athletes, you need
yeah,
to be like a certain level. Like I'm not a competitor, but I know I've seen these people compete and I'm around them, right? So you can tell like there's a certain level of mental toughness that comes with training that you're gonna be feeling bad, you're gonna be train injured, you're gonna train hurt.
yes,
But there's
yes,
such
yes.
it's a balance. It can either
It's
work in
a
your
thin
detriment.
line, right? It's a thin line.
Right,
Now
right,
that
right.
I'm not that old, but I'm feeling a
No, you're
little
not old.
older compared to
Dude, you're
the
31, you're good.
I thank you, but thank you,
You're
my friend. I
good, man.
appreciate. It's
You're
like
good.
so my division, the adult division, you get kids like they're 20, 19, like they're like doing really good.
Yeah.
So like, oh my God, man, sometimes I think like, I'm old for that. No, I think I can go. I think I can go.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. I think like, oh, maybe if I go too far here, I'm gonna get hurt. Something's gonna happen. Now I think like that. You know what I mean? Before I used to think.
Oh,
You know?
that's just a good point. I mean, that's also wisdom, right? Like you've been a black belt
Yeah.
for what, for like 10 years?
I've been black belt for 10 years. Yeah.
So you're a black belt. So you've been a black belt the amount of time that it takes to get a black belt on average, right? So
Yeah.
not only do you have kind of like the athletic ability to compete at a black belt level, you also have the everything you've accumulated competing at a
Yes.
black belt
Yes.
level for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's really the like I think that age, like being 30, right, 31, and having all those years under your belt as a black belt competing in the adult division, I think that having that wisdom that you have from all those years competing at a high level at that black belt level is kind of it gives you an advantage that a lot of these kids that come in fresh black belts
Yeah, thank you,
that
my
don't
friend. I
have.
like the positive feedback. We're gonna go. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna
Yeah,
beat them
yeah, you're
up.
gonna be fine. And also, like I think that the teaching too, man. The teaching, teaching helps.
No,
I've heard you right. That teaching helps you so much with your own style, right? Because you have to break things down at
helps a
another level.
lot.
Like,
Exactly.
have you felt that way?
Yes. So my style of teaching, I don't teach the things that I do good,
Mm,
mostly.
mm.
Yes. On my advanced class, I teach, but my style of teaching, I try to teach more like the basic jiu-jitsu and also what I think is good or not. So I try to get a strong foundation. That's what I'm looking to
Oh,
do,
that's interesting.
And I try to, once I feel like they're getting good, I look to have them. I mean, once I feel they get those moves that I think they're essential, they're like a foundation.
Right.
I have them created their own paths. You know what I mean? That's
Oh,
how
that's
I lead.
awesome.
Yeah, that's how I lead. In my school, if you go there, you're gonna advance a class. Everybody does everything different. No one has like. It's not like a school where you go and everybody does the same thing.
Yeah.
In my school, everybody does everything different. One guy does like, I don't know, likes to play invert. Other guy likes to smash, stay on top.
Mm-hmm.
Other guy likes to play half guard. Other guy likes to play spider guard.
Yeah.
This guy likes to attack legs. This one is really good on takedowns. Everybody has a different game. Yeah.
That's important, man. That you have that wherewithal to kind of allow your students to create their own pathway because a lot of people teach what they're really good at, and then you'll know that
Yeah.
school is good for that, right? They're really good at this, but everybody's different, right? So you allow them to develop in their own. You give them the foundation, like you said, the foundation that you think everybody
Exactly.
should have, and allow them to create their own style. Which not only is good for the individual, but as an academy, it's good too because you have people with different styles and are bringing different things to the table than just
Exactly. Bring different things to the table. That's the thing. You learn a lot. You learn a lot from your students. Sometimes you're doing something that like, oh, I never thought this way. Maybe let me try this and see. Because it's an art, right? The jiu-jitsu is an art. You gotta feel and be creative as well in order to get the game at another level.
that
Yeah.
now that we're talking about your teaching style, I mean, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's this argument of like the ecological and the drilling component. Have you heard of this argument?
So I heard about Andres was talking to me about ecological. I didn't
Yeah.
get much the idea, but I think I get what it is. Is related to drills, right? Repetition, right? Is
Right,
related to
right.
that.
So like just to give you, and this is, I'm not a scientist or anything, but just to give you
Okay.
my understanding of what it is, it's like
Yeah.
people believe that it's more of an environmental approach. So you give these like walls or these constraints in training, kind of like think about it as a situationals, but with certain constraints and certain goals within the situational, right? And then you allow
Okay.
your students to work and get to a certain goal, but they have these parameters. So like let's say that you're passing open guard, right? Well, the goal is to get past the feet and the knees. And once you do that, the top and the bottom switch. So the goal on the bottom is to make sure that they can't get past your knees, and the goal on the top is to get past the knees. Like you have to find a way to get past the knees. This is I'm not a coach, I'm not a scientist. That's
No,
my
no, yeah, I
understanding,
got
right?
you. But that looks like a positional train, right? Or it's not positional training.
I mean, to my
It's more specific.
it's more specific. Like like in my explanation of it is it's looks like a lot of like a situational type of approach. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very specific. And then there's people that have this. I'm asking everybody, man. I'm asking everybody about this
Yeah,
same
yeah.
question. So
No,
don't think
no,
that it's
no,
just you. Like I kind of
100%.
want
And
I
like,
want
no,
everybody's
yeah,
opinion on this. And then there's people that think that like drilling is the way to make. And I'm to be honest, like I train at a ecological school, but I also train at a school that does drilling, that drills techniques, and they have
got
very
you.
opinion. But I'm kind of open to hear what everybody has to say
Yes.
about it.
So if ecological training to me is the positional training, the situational training, which I think it is, to me sounds a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
Positional training, situational training to me is key. Is the
Mm.
key to get better faster in jiu-jitsu because
Oh, that's cool.
you see the same situation over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So you're gonna get better on the situation for sure. I
Hmm.
don't know. You want to get better on, I don't know, side control, for instance, attacks. On top. You start over there, you go over and over and over. You're gonna see the problem so many times that you're gonna give a solution faster.
Mm.
When you just train like a regular round, sometimes the side control one time or two times.
That's such a good point. Yeah.
Makes sense. So you have more, basically, you have more time training.
Hmm.
So positional training to me, in my opinion, is great, 100% great. And to be honest, I like drills too. I'm
Hmm.
fan of drills too.
Okay.
I heard some.
Like static drilling is what you're talking about, right? Like just moving, doing the arm bar, right? Like you like both.
Yes, I like that. I like that drilling. I like just the position, the repetition too. Different styles, speed and like slow. I feel that programs your brain to do it, the technique. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I heard some people, like some good black belts, that said that doesn't work for nothing.
Okay.
But no, I think drills are good. Drills are important. You see like so many sports, they do drills, 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 drills,
Yeah,
drills,
yeah.
drills, 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 drills. Like judo, they do like 1,000 repetitions a day, like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, entradas, yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. They do a lot of that. They do a lot of that in judo for sure.
I'm a fan also of the drills. I'm a fan of the drills, but I'm more a fan of the positional training.
That's really interesting because I've talked to a lot of people and they're always in the middle, like situational training
Mm,
or the ecological approach, how they call it, is very
yeah,
important. And then, but also that the drilling is important as well because it creates that muscle memory that you need to apply a certain technique. I'm not a scientist. I'm asking everybody so I can
yes,
formulate my own opinion.
uh-huh.
Um, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of interested because you do it at the highest level, so I'm kind of just want to know what your point was on it. Like,
Both,
do you
both.
find it like do you find it like is it like you come to a day that you're like, oh, I want to drill this, so I'm gonna drill this. Like, how
Yes,
do you make that decision in your
yes.
mind when to focus on something specifically?
I make that decision based on something that I feel I need to work on,
Okay.
or something that I want to learn. Like I go there, let me feel here how it works, and I move once, I move twice, move three, slow first, just to get it.
Yeah.
And if I really want to implement, I think it needs to get some physical attributes on that technique, and then I go like with more speed, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
repeat, repeat. But yeah, basically looking to I feel what I need to work on or something that I want to learn.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, so it's your opinion is like you're balanced with it. Like you
Yes,
think both are very important, but if I got you right, you think that the the kind of situation of the ecological approach is key in order to see a specific type of position live. More,
Positional train, I
yeah,
think positional training is key. I've been training so many good places.
yeah,
I mean, not much, but I visited a couple places. I visited
yeah,
John Danaher over there. He's always started with technique, repeat slow. He doesn't do drills like boom, boom, boom fast.
yeah.
But he always started with positional train, positional train, positional train, positional train.
Oh, it's
And
interesting.
I really like because that make you work your defense and your attack. Switch top and bottom ones.
100%.
Over
Yeah, and both
that,
people get to work at the same time. I didn't think about that. Like,
it's great. It's great. You go one for one. Like it's amazing.
yeah, because like if you're doing that situation, like you just said, it's like the person on the bottom can work their defense.
We both learn. We like, let's say we work mount position, right?
Yeah.
I start on mount top, and you escape, right? You escape from my mount position. Next time when I go on bottom position, I know what you did to do to me to give me a hard time. So I can use to you too, and we keep going, exchange, and like this is pretty cool. So we both learn together. We're based on what we're doing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And do
But
you do that for your school? Like, is that the way you kind of
I do a lot of
structure?
positional. I do a lot of positional training in my school. I'll explain how it goes. Just let me finish there. So at
Sure.
JT's, I'm not sure how's the other classes, but he's pro train, the one that I go, the strong push, hard, which I like the style. I'm really resonate with his style of coaching. Really like it. He push, and he starts drills. We do 20 to 40 minutes of drilling. It's a long time drilling.
Jesus Christ.
Repeating. So like I go 3 times, you go 3 times, and I keep going, depending on what he wants.
Yeah.
And then hard training. So he likes to juice more, but he also goes for the positional training in a couple of days. Some days he does positional training too.
Yeah.
On the days that we are tired, but yeah. So it's funny because in my opinion, it's not one better than other one.
Mm.
Everybody have a different way to do. Sometimes work for you, doesn't work for other one,
Mm-hmm.
but in my opinion, both are good and both are important.
That's good, man. That's a like a good perspective to have. Like I haven't formulated opinion on it still. Like I'm still trying
Oh
to
yeah,
ask
what's your
other.
you thinking about you? I see it.
Yeah, so like I ask people, and luckily I have two. I train at two schools. I train at Ground Game Theory and Daniel Perez. Daniel Perez is a black belt under Damian Maya, and he does drilling and he does the ecological approach too. He does apply it, and then I go to an all ecological no-gi school, Ground Game Theory. That's all ecological, and I talk to them about it. And I'm not a scientist, and I'm not doing the research on my own, which I probably should be doing, right? But I like to ask people that implement and have an academy and it's functional and it's working out like that are running a successful academy and kind of just pick their brain about it because I want to understand other
Yeah.
people's opinions and kind of formulate my own before I formulate one.
You know what I believe? Sometimes we get so stuck in one way. There's so many ways to play the game, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you don't see it. And us as a student, I like to place my mind as a student, so we see the student perspective. It gets boring when you do the same thing over and over and over and over.
100%. Yeah.
So like you gotta mix. You gotta fill the class and change it. Change it. Some days you can go more like drilling. Some days you can go more positional training. Some days you can go more like just training. And you need to get all of the styles that we have to teach a class and play jiu-jitsu. The way my school works, like on the fundamental class, right? We call the essential class there.
Mm.
It's warm up. Sometimes if I jog, sometimes with calisthenics, I like to break that. I try to make fun of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I push a little bit just to get ready for the class. And then when it goes for the class, sometimes I start with a drill depending on the technique, so they move more. And it's fun too, it's fun on the
Yeah.
body. It's good to move a little bit.
Right.
Um, Sometimes I start teaching the technique right away. And after the technique, I place the positional train. Only one round, and then after the positional train, I do regular rounds. Regular rounds. On the advanced class, we warm up a little harder. I mean, not a little harder. Moving. And sometimes we do drills. Sometimes we just position. Sometimes we do positional train, which is the ecological, the situational train, and hard rounds. So that's how it goes over there. Yeah.
So Now that we're talking about your school, I'm kind of curious as what led you to decide to open up Valle Jiu-Jitsu, right? I keep
Yes,
using the double
yes.
L, dude.
That's okay. No, that's fine. I just go with it. If you call me a different name, I go, yes, that's good.
Yeah, so like I have
That's how I go, That's okay. Let's
yeah,
go.
that too. It's good. It works.
Yes, yeah.
I have a kind of like a two prong question. Like what was your decision to open up an academy? And
Yeah,
why did you decide New Hampshire? How's it? Well, I guess it's three, right? So like, why did you decide to
yeah.
open it? Why New Hampshire? And how's the jiu-jitsu scene over there?
I want to open my school because I want to place my vision on it, being more authentic on what I think is good. And the freedom to have your own school. I like that. Follow up what you think is good or not. I didn't decide to come up to New Hampshire. Basically, New Hampshire wanted me here, so that's what happened. Yeah. So yeah, I like I said, I went to Florida first, to Miami. One of my professors, the professor of my professor, Totti Pitocco, his name. He's like very old
Yoko,
school.
yeah.
He's you know him, so very
I
old
don't know
school
him, but I
from
know who he
Brazil.
is. Yeah.
It's not Toco, it's Pitocco, but it's
Okay.
another old school guy from Brazil, like a legend there on my neighborhood. He made so many champions. He was teaching there.
Okay.
Then I went to his house. My professor sent me to his house. I went there. I was with him for 2 months and compete Miami Open, did good in Miami. And the guys from the gym that he was working with told him that we had an opportunity in New Hampshire. Then I came to New Hampshire. Didn't leave. They made me an offer. That's how I stayed, because back on that time, the bigger competitions were in America.
Yeah.
And if you don't have money in Brazil, like, it was kind of hard to compete. Was the year that you had to start making points to compete the world championship, and we
Mm-hmm.
didn't have many opens in Brazil to go. And like, oh man, I gotta move. I gotta go. Then
Is that sorry to interrupt you? Is that still that like that? You have to have a certain amount of points in order to compete at the World Championships?
for the adults, yes, for the adult black
Oh, for
belt.
adults. Okay.
Yeah, adult black belt, you got it. The color belts, no.
Okay.
And then didn't have many in Brazil back on the time. We had Rio Open and São Paulo Open, but that was it.
So that was your only opportunity to accumulate points is those two
And
tournaments?
Brazil Nationals too. My bad.
Oh, so those three.
I'm not even sure if we had São Paulo, but I actually think we had.
But either way, it was
And
like three tournaments.
yes. And then I'm like, oh man, I gotta come up to America, and I had this opportunity. Like, okay, I'll stay here. Then I work on
But you were gonna go to Saudi Arabia. I mean,
yes,
what's it called?
yes.
I forgot the
Abu
city.
Dhabi,
Abu
Abu
Dhabi.
Dhabi. Yeah. So I had a couple of friends there, and back on the time, it was not bad to go. I mean, right now they're paying way less than they used to pay for the instructors. Every year gets worse over there, from what I heard. But
Oh yeah, too many people going in.
I don't know. I think it has some. It is good people and bad people everywhere. So
Mm,
I guess some bad Brazilians went there and didn't represent a flag over there, and then like,
okay.
okay, those guys are weird. Like, we're gonna start cutting. That's my perspective. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
So yeah, they did some weird stuff over there in my vision, but it's still good program too. Works for some people, works for some places, but it's
Yeah.
some weird stuff going on. Anyways, I had friends over there, and I want to move because they didn't have many tournaments in Brazil, and I had sponsors in Brazil, but they used to give me money also, like good money. I mean, not good money like to have a house,
Right.
and then
Right.
have
Right.
like apartment to rent and like be like all set. And I was like, man, this is like a castle sand. At some point, like, he's gonna break. So I need to move
Yeah.
somewhere, work,
How old were you when you were
compete.
thinking that? Like when you were thinking about moving?
20. I was
You're
21.
young.
21. Yeah, I was like into. And then I'm like, man, I gotta move with that because I have sponsors. I have these sponsors. I have like paid sponsors. I had the radio station here, other ones. But I don't know. I'm not a man that like to asking for favors. I hate that. I like to work.
100%. I get that.
I don't like, oh, help me here with my ticket to go. No, man, everybody's working. I'm working too. Like,
I
I
get that
mean,
100%. Yeah.
some people deserve the help too, and I understand everybody goes through a hard time, but like,
Mm-hmm.
everybody works.
Right. Yeah.
Then Then I like, okay, I gotta go. And then I thought Abu Dhabi was a good option for me based on what they were paying back on the time. I'm like, oh, I go. So I signed up. Everything was ready to go. I got married with my wife. They were being like 10 years together, 11 years. I'm not even sure how long now.
We gotta cut that because you have to know that information. You're gonna get in trouble, bro.
I know. She's gonna kill me.
Yeah,
And then,
we'll cut that. We're gonna cut it. No, I'm just kidding.
and you can leave. That's fine. And then I don't know. I think it was God. Something happened. Somebody stole my ticket. So from the company. So I had everything signed up from the sheikh over there. Everything good to go. And a couple friends of mine ended up going, and my ticket didn't came up. And the day to work over there, they call, hey Lucas, Lucas, Lucas. I'm like, hey, it didn't came up. You guys didn't send to him. I'm like, okay. So it looks like something weird happening there. I'm like, okay, those guys, fuck those guys. I'm going to America, and I went to America, and that's how I stay here.
And that
But
opportunity for New Hampshire was already like, did you have both? Did you have Abu Dhabi and the Miami that you went to Miami first?
no. I had only Abu Dhabi first,
Oh,
and
so it was a leap of
then
faith.
yes.
Wait, you were just married. You just got married, right?
Yep.
You had the opportunity Abu Dhabi. You don't have it anymore. And now you're like, okay, a leap of faith. I'm going to the United States. I'm going to Miami.
I had to go. I was married. Like, what I want to do? Leave like on my
Good point.
dad's house? What I'm gonna do? I had to go.
Yeah. That's a risk, dude. That was
I
like
know.
took some balls.
Tough. I know. Jump off my head on it. So I went, and then it was very tough transition.
Mm.
Very tough transition here.
Did you
I
learn the
mean,
language here, or did you already know?
I learned the language here. I had zero English. I mean, hi, how are you? Nice, and that's it.
Well, man, that makes it even more difficult. You know what I mean?
It was a hard transition, because so when I got here, people don't know much about you. They don't know much about your who you are.
Right.
And sometimes they test you to see how you go, you know what I mean? And kind of like take advantage of some stuff. And I had a lot of help too from those people, but it was bad. It was very bad. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Went through a hard time here in the beginning.
Yeah.
Then broke up from the place that I was working after 6 years and a half, I guess. 6 years.
Here in the United States,
Yes, I
not
broke
just the two.
up. And what happened was, this is a good part. This is the part that I like. I learned a lot on that place
Mm.
on how to work with a couple of things as a business side.
Yeah, which is important, right?
Yes, and like really grow as a man on like, speaking for myself,
Yeah.
you know, and deal with many stuff. After I broke up, I didn't have any plans. I broke up with like in a bad blood. And yeah, in a bad blood. So I was leaving my apartment. I didn't have money to pay my rent, to buy food, to do anything. Plus, I didn't have my green card. I didn't have my visa. My visa was I paid with through the lawyer, which was a big amount of money.
Yeah, it's huge.
I went through a good lawyer, and it was on this process, so I could not work legally anywhere.
Right,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So what I would do, I was looking to come back to Brazil. I was looking to move to Texas to a friend of mine's house, like, Lucas, come on over here.
Wow, dude.
But what happened, this is the cool part. I didn't call anyone. I didn't invite anyone to come up with me, anything like that. I had a couple students coming up to me and helping me. People were
Mm.
doing private classes with me in my carpet. People like bringing food to me in my house. So that was a pretty cool the support that I got it. So that shows to me they felt that the energy that I put into them, the work that I did with them, I love my passion for jiu-jitsu. And one of the parents offered me to open a school and
Wow.
offer me to I didn't have any money
Yeah, man.
and offer me to open a school on their house. So they opened up a space on their house, and we were working like in a basement for like, I don't know, 6, 7 months, something like that, until we get the new place. And
It's like right
you
when you needed it too, man. Like you
great family, man. The
right when you
family,
needed that.
yeah, exactly. The family that helped me big time, like the character, like it's out of this world. The Butler family here from Londonderry, Amanda Butler, Bo Butler, James Butler. They were like great to me here. They helped me to open the school. They made a loan for me. They didn't want anything back of the school. They didn't want any percentage on the school. So
Wow.
everything of my school is mine.
Wow, dude, that's huge.
You don't see that nowadays, you know what I mean?
No,
Like
man,
it's very hard, very hard.
bro, that's really rare, man. You see that somebody's willing to do that and loan you money, like that's
Exactly.
not you're not gonna find that anywhere, man. That's crazy.
No,
Like,
you don't
and
find
in the moment that you needed it the most.
exactly. And the only requisition that they have it was to be on the town that I am today, Londonderry, New Hampshire. That
Okay.
was the only requisition because Bo, like, he does everything for the town. He loves his town. He grew up here. He was the fire chief here of the town.
Wow.
He knows everybody. He helps everybody here. He's like kind of like a president here, you know. So yes. So that was the only thing that they wanted.
That's pretty cool though. That's a pretty cool, like, he's thinking not only like is he going to, it's like kind of like community development at the same moment.
Exactly.
He knows that if you stay, like, listen, the only thing I ask for you is to stay here.
Exactly.
He knows that he's helping get back to the community that he loves so much, which is dude, that's amazing.
Exactly. And then that transition was amazing. It was tough too, but he was amazing support that I got. But the funny fact, like I had people going after me from my older job, like,
Yeah,
saying
you're
a
good.
bunch of shit. But I didn't
Wait.
decide to stay here
They were
because,
trying
like,
they're trying to
it's
go
a
after
thing.
you negatively. Like they're trying to attack you.
Yes, yes, some people, because like it's a thing in jiu-jitsu, right? Sometimes let's say I hired Andres to work here with me, right?
Yeah.
And Andres opened up a school right next to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people feel bad about that, and I understand. But I didn't have the choice, I didn't have what to eat, where to go. I had a daughter to take care, a wife to take care,
Yeah.
and it was not my decision to stay here. I wanted to leave.
Dude, and honestly, like in my opinion, like
It's tough. It's
jiu-jitsu is
tough.
great, and I believe you should always respect the people that teach you and give you, your knowledge. But at the same time, if a person doesn't want you, like, that's an opportunity, man. Like, how are you gonna say no to an
Yeah.
opportunity like that?
And you
You
gotta believe
can't.
in freedom. You gotta believe in freedom.
Exactly, dude.
I always tell Andres there, Kid, Ian, like I think, it's great to have them there. I'm so happy to have them there and how things are settled up over there. But I know tomorrow that can be done. That can be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Andres might go back to Miami and open up his school over there, or he might open up a thing here in New Hampshire, like for weightlifting or jiu-jitsu. I don't know. Same thing, Ian. I told Ian, we're doing great here, but I think for the future we should open another place and you take care of it. That's how we're gonna make more money and this and that.
Yeah.
People gotta grow, Everybody gotta grow. And
100%, man.
if you think just for yourself, it's weird.
Yeah,
But
that scarcity mentality that there's not enough to go around and that there's not, like, dude, that's
I
crazy.
have exactly. I have an older student, a student he was my student to the purple belt. He's my training partner today, Sean. His school is like, I don't know, 10 minutes from me,
Yeah.
and it has Nick too, which trained with us. His school is another 10 minutes from me, and right between. Is what it is. Is what it is. They gotta grow. They have passion. And to be honest, the way I think too, like this is not my place. They grew up here. They here before me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not mine. It's everybody's. And like it's the way I see America too. You know what I mean?
Dude,
But
and also, like, if they, let's say they open up an academy, 10, like, if you're thinking dollars and cents, like, oh, they're going to take away memberships, or let's just say that's the argument. But at the same time, if it's a friend academy, like, you guys help each other out at the same time. Like, you cross train, you have people over
yeah,
here, make both teams stronger.
exactly. That's the
Like,
mentality. That's the
that's the
mentality,
better
right?
mentality to have.
You're
Both
totally
grow,
right.
like, both ships can go at the same time. You both can grow at the same time. It's that scarcity mentality. And honestly, you used to see that a lot back in the day. Like you don't open an academy this close to me, or don't open an academy here. But I think now people are starting to realize, at least in the United States, that like you can do whatever you want as long as you do it without, if you have an opportunity, you should take it, right? Like if people that care about you are
Yeah,
gonna want to
yeah,
support you.
yeah. I mean, you don't want to get anyone in a bad spot. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I never wanted to do something
Yeah,
like
you didn't do
here
it
close to
vindictively, right?
people. I never wanted. I never wanted, but I was in a situation where I was forced to do. And I mean, not forced to do that.
You had an opportunity.
yes, but it was the right thing to do. It's deeper
I
than
think so.
that. If we keep talking, it's gonna go deeper. But it was the right thing to do. You know, I had people like I saw the eyes of the students like, hey, stay here with us, please. Let's go. Let's move. Let's
Interesting.
go.
So
You
is
know what
that
I
like
mean?
that personal? It was also a decision based on like that personal relationship that you had with your students. It wasn't just like a business decision. You took into
No
account other people
business.
that were around you. Like you looked at your
No,
students that wanted you to stay. So it was like, yeah, I get what
like
you're saying.
if it was for money, like I would not be doing jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? It's like I would be doing college in Brazil.
Yeah, yeah.
Looking for something there. I live close to the beach. Like I came from a nice area. Like Rio
Yeah,
de Janeiro, like to be honest, like is the best place in the world. Like where I grew up, like 5 minutes from the beach. I walk to the beach and like see my buddies.
that's nice.
Like I would not be here if you know what I mean. If it was not the passion for jiu-jitsu.
Did you ever get into surfing? I know it's not jiu-jitsu
Oh
related.
yeah, it's a big thing. I like surfing. I'm not the best, but the cool thing about surfing is for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's about.
The funny thing is, like Brazilians always say they're not good at surfing, and then they start surfing and they're like amazing at it.
Yeah. But like surfing is one of the best feelings I ever had.
That's crazy, man. I do
Yeah,
bodyboard. I
it's
haven't
good.
surfed. I haven't like got into surfing. I used to live in Puerto Rico, which is like an island.
Oh really?
So like I bodyboard pretty much my entire life. So I can understand kind of that
Oh,
like
I know.
connection to like the
So good,
beach.
man. He's so good, man.
Man, we were talking here for a while. I kind of feel like we talked a lot of good life stuff on this
Yeah,
on this episode. It's really good, but I want to make sure that I got everything that you wanted to talk about. So let's open this like kind of open the space and kind of go into whatever you want to talk about for a little bit. And
yeah. So right now we in a project. I am in a project of getting back to the tournaments. This is the
yeah,
main goal right now. Figure out my training.
which
I
is
really like.
Brazilian Nationals is the one that you're really focused on.
Yes. I mean, I want to compete more after that, get more into no gi fights too, and hopefully everything goes ready. Get ready for the gi world championship. I'm not seeing myself out there yet. I feel I need something more working on, especially because my strength and condition is not on point.
Right.
But I feel if I get that good, I'll be able to get there. So matter. That's what's going on. Want to get those things ready. That's what's going on in my mind right now. I want to get there with JT, Professor JT, Jonathan Torres, to help me
That's a
on
great
that
fucking
set those
school,
things.
dude.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy to go there. It's kind of hard to me go all the time, but
It's worth it though, right?
I like his style, man. He's a champion. He's a champion. Like he other day, he feels, sometimes and like tells you stuff that you need to know.
Yeah.
And other day, tough love, you guys don't think you want to come up here once a week? You're gonna be a champ, blah blah blah. And like, cool, it's his right, And then other day, he looked to me, Lucas, just look me in the eye like this, Lucas, just win. And I looked to him like, he has something to say about that. I'm like, yeah, Lucas, just win. You know you can win, right?
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. That
Yeah,
psychological component of training with him.
yeah, I like his style. It's just a matter like I wish I can go more there,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I don't want to leave here. I was talking to the team there. The one of the projects is getting there for a month, and let they work on the things here so I can get ready for those tournaments.
Yeah.
Let's see what's gonna happen. But that's pretty much what's going on. If I have something more to say, man,
Where exactly is your school at? Because I kind of want to make sure that I have that so people can.
Londonderry, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Londonderry, New Hampshire. She's in southern New Hampshire.
Okay, man. Yeah, that's New Hampshire's beautiful.
It is a good. It's a nice place, man. It's a nice
Yeah.
place. Winter can be a little tough if you're not doing the snowboard. if you're not doing the snowboard, but it's a nice place, man. We have the mountains, we have the ocean, so it's pretty good.
That's awesome, dude. And are you kind of like pursuing? I know the Nogi kind of exploded in the last couple years. Like huge tournaments are coming out now. I'm assuming that you also kind of have your eye on trying to get into the game when it comes to those Nogi competitions.
Yes, I want to go. I want to go. I fought last year, and after
So,
that, I got hurt. I fought with Nick Warner, which is like all the time fighting the Nogi scenario and
yeah, I saw
more,
that.
which was good. I was happy with that because I was not competing for a long time. I had an
Yeah,
injury before that,
right.
and then shows me that I can do and I can get there. I think I can give a lot still, but that's what I was saying. I want to get my life set up for an athlete life. I was for a long time working for people
Yeah.
and giving everything that I had to make, the living, and working on the school to make the school established and strong with strong systems.
Yeah, man.
Then now I feel I can go, but I'm seeing how I'm gonna do the transition. Make sense?
Yeah, of course. You don't wanna like you want to make sure that your school is structured in a way and your the way that you've built your life now stays the way it's running correctly. And it sounds like you have a
Exactly.
good team to do so before you start developing another aspect of your life and making sure that you have that space to develop as an athlete without losing or without giving what you're giving to your community. You know, you want to make sure
100%.
you can give to what you're giving to your community and focus on that, which is a balance, right, man? It's going to take a little bit of time, but it seems like you have a good team
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you have a good training and like you have a good training room that you're going to and you have a good school and you have people around you that are going to
yeah.
support you. So it sounds like you're on your, in my opinion, which I don't know, but it seems like you're on your way to those bigger, those big goals that you're looking for, man.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it, Henrique. Here we go. It's
This is a
awesome.
great conversation, man. I gotta be completely honest. I think we talked more about life than we did talk about jujitsu, which is
Yeah,
it's kind of my favorite type of conversations to have with people that have competed at the highest level and kind of have their academies because I think that I learn more from from those type of conversations than from like just talking about jujitsu, you know. Even though we got
yes,
some
yeah.
jujitsu in there too. It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. That's pretty cool.
All right, man. Is there anything you want to say before I stop recording?
I want to thank you so much, Henrique. Like, we were having a hard time to make this happen. I had
Bro,
an
no, thank
emergency in
you.
Brazil. I had to take care of family over there, but
Family first, man.
great time
It's great,
talking
man.
to you here. Like, great stuff. I want to shoot out for my academy, my school in Brazil in Fight Jiu-Jitsu. I want to shout out for JT School in Essential Jiu-Jitsu. He's doing helping me a big time. I go there train. He's always um, treat me really good. Him and his team, everybody, that's very nice. I want to thank you, everybody from my school, Valle Jiu-Jitsu. You guys are great. Thank you for helping and support our school, working hard every day. You guys are the best. And my nutritionist, Bruno from Brazil, you amazing too. You're cutting weight, getting back to the tournaments. Let's move forward. And my family, my wife, and let's keep moving forward.
Sounds great. And if anybody wants to learn a little bit more about the kids program, I have an episode with Andres Alemán, which he
Here we
covers,
go.
breaks down kind of like how he teaches and what he likes about teaching. The guy has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to not only strength and conditioning, but also teaching kids. So like I know
100%.
from that conversation that your school has an amazing kids program. So everybody that has a kid in New Hampshire, definitely go check out that school. You already met the head coach. You have the kid instructor. I don't know what else you're waiting for if you're over there. So, other than that, thank you, man. I appreciate your time. I'm gonna hit stop recording now.